scientists! I'm so glad you decided to join me today to learn about the world around you. My name is Mrs. Newby. Can you say Mrs. Newby? Yeah, kind of like if you're new at something, someone might call you a newbie at it. Well, that's me. And I am a scientist, but I'm not a newbie scientist because I've been a scientist all my life. And guess what? So have you. How, you ask? Well, we all are able to learn about the world around us. We can always ask questions, we can study, we can research, we can talk to other scientists. There's so many different ways that we can learn about the world around us. And another reason why we are all scientists is because we all have an important job to take care of this earth. I have an important job, and so do you, to keep it healthy and to keep it pretty. So that's what makes us scientists. It's pretty neat that we all are scientists here together. Well, today we're going to learn two things. Are you ready to learn two things with me? The first thing we're going to learn is how animals, and especially birds, use and change their environment to help them to find food and also build homes. Now you're probably thinking, what in the world does that mean? Well, have you ever seen any animals in grocery stores shopping for food that they need for that night? Or have you seen any animals in Target shopping for clothes or different furniture for their house to decorate? Probably not, right? At least I hope not. That would be so silly. Well, animals don't use grocery stores. They actually use nature, and we're going to find out how they use nature to build their homes and to get food. Another thing we're going to learn today is about a special kind of scientist called engineers. We're going to learn that we can all be engineers, and every animal on this earth are also considered engineers, and we're going to study how that is. I'm so excited you're here with me so that we can learn this together, and I want to teach you this by showing you an awesome picture that I was able to take of a creation that an animal did all by themselves. Are you ready to join with me? Come on, let's go. So this was the picture that I was able to take not too long ago right above my front porch. I was so excited when I saw that a bird decided to build its nest right above our front porch. Now, a lot of the times whenever you see a picture, as a scientist, you need to put that scientist brain on, and you need to think about two things. What do I notice about this picture, and what do I wonder about this picture? And a lot of scientists take notes of these things so that they don't forget them and they can add to their thinking. So if you are a scientist, which everyone is, get out your notebooks, get out your pencil, and let's start taking notes. So what is the first thing you notice about this picture? Exactly, that's the first thing I noticed. These eggs are blue. Isn't that exciting? Blue eggs. I've seen white eggs. Have you? I've seen brown eggs, but I haven't seen blue eggs in real life until I got to see these right here. Pretty awesome. What else do you notice about this picture? Yeah, so it looks like these eggs, they're not falling out. It looks to me like there's a bunch of dead grass here. This bird just picked up a bunch of dead grass off the ground, put it together, and the eggs are just sitting in there nice and pretty, right? So the eggs are not falling out. Now, if you notice other things, be sure to jot those things down too as a scientist, okay? So these are the two things that I'm noticing about this bird's nest. Now, what do we wonder? What kinds of questions can we ask ourselves when we see this picture? Now, for me, whenever I see this noticing right here, the eggs are not falling out, I also start to ask myself, how, right? So anytime you notice something, you can always ask a question after that. Well, how is that even happening, right? How did the mama bird build this bird's nest so that the eggs don't fall out? That's a question I wonder. What do you wonder about this picture? Jot them down. probably are asking other questions like, what did the mama bird use to build the nest? Or why did the mama bird decide to build the nest this way and not a different way, right? A lot of scientists can come up with so many different wondering questions. And after scientists come up with questions about something they wonder about, they go and they research and they find out how to get to the answer to that. Are you ready to find out how this mama bird built this nest for their eggs? Well, in order to do that, I want to show you what an engineer is, because this bird is exactly that. This mama bird is an engineer because she built this nest for her babies. So this is what we call an engineering design cycle. Can you say engineering design cycle? Exactly. So a lot of engineers, actually all of the engineers, use this cycle when they want to solve a problem. And engineers are a special kind of scientists that see a problem in this world and they invent things or make things better to solve those problems. And that's what that mama bird did. She had the problem of needing a home for her eggs, and she solved it by building a bird's nest. So the first thing that you need to do as an engineer is to find a problem. And after engineers find a problem, they have to learn more about certain things. They research and they brainstorm or think really hard how they can solve that problem. And then they choose that best idea. And after you have an idea of how to solve that problem, then you construct it. So you actually build or invent whatever you have in mind. After engineers do that, they have to test it out. They have to make sure that it actually works the way they want it to work. So they have to test it before they say they're all done. And if it doesn't work out very well, and if things need to be different or things need to be changed, then they talk to other scientists to kind of get some help, and then they redesign it. So they actually go back and they try to fix the problems to make it even better. They don't just give up. They say, oh, there's a problem with my invention. Let me fix it so I can make it better to solve this problem that I need. And that's exactly what animals do, and that's exactly what me and you can do, and any scientist can do that. Are you ready to do that? Let's go. So now that we know that that mama bird built her nest like an engineer, and she used the things around her environment or nature to help build that bird's nest, to help keep her baby eggs safe, we are going to try to be an engineer also and build this bird's nest the same way that the mama bird did, okay? So we know what an engineer does. They have a problem and they want to solve it. So whenever that mama bird had that problem, she had to go all around outside to find things that will work to help make her home for her baby eggs. So I have here some pretend dead grass and just some other things that maybe will be outside for that mama bird to be able to use. Do you want to help me build this bird's nest to see if we can actually test it out like an engineer? Now remember, engineers don't just give up. They always have to have that growth mindset, right? So anytime they work to build something and it doesn't work their way, they go back and they try it again. So that's something super important to remember. So I know that birds' nests are usually round. That one looked round, and it kind of has like an opening in the inside, kind of like a little pocket. It's kind of hard to keep this stuff together, right? Kind of make it nice. Now, this is a little bit different because if I were a bird, I would have to use my little beak and fly all around looking for dead grass and other stuff on the ground, and then I'd have to just pick it up bit by bit. So I would probably be traveling back and forth so many times. Ooh, we got some yarn in here. Maybe there was some yarn that was flying in the wind. And you know what that reminds me of? When I look closer at this picture, I notice that there's like a blue streamer. Do you see that? That's not part of nature, is it? That probably was flying around in the environment, and maybe the bird saw it laying on the ground and decided to use it to make her home, right? And that also kind of reminds us the importance of making sure to clean up the ground and outside to make sure that it's nice and clean and we don't throw our trash out there, because animals and birds might get to it and sometimes it might hurt them. So luckily that didn't hurt the bird. It actually helped the bird. But maybe in the future there might be something that will harm or hurt the animal. So it's super important as scientists to take care of this earth and to throw our trash in the garbage. Okay, so I have this beautiful nest. It looks so pretty. I have an opening to kind of lay my eggs down if I wanted to. I'm a little nervous though, because I feel like if I pick it up, it might like fall apart, right? I wonder if this egg here that the mama bird built is the same way. I don't know. So I actually have some pretend eggs. I'm going to pretend these are my little baby eggs. I'm gonna choose 3. I'm gonna lay 3 eggs. And I'm gonna put them in my nest, and I wanna see if this egg, or this nest, will hold these eggs just like this mama bird's nest does, okay? So here it is. I'm gonna put them in here. Drop, drop, drop. They're laying there, nice and pretty. Now, let's see what happens if I pick up this bird's nest. Oh no! They just fell right out. Let's try to see if I can do it again. Oh man, I give up. What? Don't give up? Why? Oh, because I'm an engineer and engineers don't give up? Oh my goodness, I needed to solve a problem and my solution did not work, so I need to try again, right? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we might need to study a little bit more about how this bird built its nest, because guess what? I don't think this bird only used dead grass. That's kind of what I used only, right? If you look closer, guess what I noticed at the very bottom? What do you see there? I see a bunch of mud. Have you ever played in mud? Doesn't it get really thick and it just kind of like sticks together and just mushes things? Oh my goodness, this mama bird was smart, right? This mama bird knew that just only dead grass would not help. It's kind of falling apart. She collected all kinds of dead grass and then she collected mud. Isn't that amazing? She probably used her beak and scooped up mud and kind of like put it and used it like glue. Have you used glue to kind of glue things to paper? Yeah, that's what this mama bird did. So if you look closely, I'm seeing a lot of mud. Wow. That is so interesting. It's super important as engineers to study and look closely and see what we missed. And I totally missed that. I didn't even see that mud until just now. So I might need to redesign. Remember that engineering design cycle? Step 7 was to redesign if it doesn't work. I may need to redesign this and maybe add some mud to put it together. Do you think that might be a good idea? Yeah, I think so too. So I actually have an amazing book that I want to show you, because this book will teach us a little bit more about nests, and it'll also teach us a little bit more about animal homes all around the world. Are you ready to find out? Come on. Hey guys, I'm back. So with the permission of Crabtree Books Publishing, we get to read this awesome book called How and Why Do Animals Build Homes by Bobbie Kalman. And we're gonna take a look at how so many different animals in the world use nature to build their homes. And I want you to keep an eye out for all the different ways these animals are using nature, and maybe you can also jot them down, okay? So this is a nonfiction book. Do you know what a nonfiction book is? Exactly. Nonfiction books give us facts and information. So we are going to only pick and choose some of these pages to read so that we can find certain information we need. Because with nonfiction books, you don't have to read all of the pages if you don't want to. If you're looking for something very, very specific, then you can choose the chapters that you can read and you can get that information that way. So we're only going to read just a few of these pages. But let's start with the first one because it kind of explains why animals even build homes. So whenever you see these dark words like these right here, that means that they're super important words. So be looking out for those dark words and be paying attention so you can find out what these words mean because some of them might be really long. Let's get started. Homes protect us from bad weather and keep us safe. Animals also build homes for shelter and to keep safe from predators. Predators are animals that hunt and eat prey or other animals. Many animals build homes to lay eggs or have babies. Some animals build homes for long sleeps called hibernation. Homes are also places for animals to make and store food. So that's why animals need homes. They need to stay safe from predators. They need to find a place to lay their eggs and have babies, to be able to sleep, and to store their food. So it's important that we understand all animals have homes and they need homes so that they can do those things. So these foxes here have a home called a den where this little teeny tiny hole is right here. So how do you think these foxes are using nature to build their home? Exactly, they're digging a hole. Now that hole wasn't there before. That mama fox and the daddy fox probably had to dig the hole for these baby foxes. So they're using nature because they need to dig holes in nature. What do you think these honeybees are using that is part of nature to help them with their beehive? Yeah, if you look really close, you'll notice that this beehive is actually on a tree branch. So they need that tree in order for their honey beehive to be lifted up and not fall down, right? What about this dormouse? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of leaves around this dormouse. And it says here that it's building a nest. So it hibernates or sleeps for a really long time, and it makes a nest with leaves. And it's on the ground. It's kind of cool. So whenever it's autumn time and the leaves are falling down the trees, dormice, they collect those leaves and they build a nice, comfy nest and they sleep in it for a really long time. So they need nature because they need those leaves to build their nest. Now, the same thing with this prairie dog, kind of like these foxes. This prairie dog has a home called a burrow. And a burrow is like an underground tunnel that these little prairie dogs go in and live. And they hide their food in there also. So they need nature because they need to find a place to dig burrows. So far we've learned so many different animals already use nature so much. Let's take a look and see what types of birds use nature also. So if you notice here, these birds need nature for two reasons. They need nature because of this tall tree. They need to be able to find tall trees because they like to be super high up in the sky. And they also need nature because of the little twigs and sticks that you see that the nest is made out of. So it's super important that they go in around nature and they find these things to help them to make their homes. Now, if you see here, this is a pretty swan. Now let's listen to see what swans do to use their environment. Swan parents make their nests on or near water using plants called reeds. The reed nest is safely hidden by the tall reeds all around it. That's kind of cool, isn't it? These swans need water so that they can build their nest on or near the water. And they also need a plant called reeds so that they can build their nest and also hide their nest. So nature is really important for swans. Now, another interesting fact I learned recently is that some birds use spider webs to keep their nests together. That's so awesome. This bird here is called a sunbird. Now, this bird and also hummingbirds use spider webs to keep their nest together so it doesn't fall apart. Do you remember whenever we were looking at this nest here that's above my front porch? And we noticed that this bird used mud to keep its nest together. Well, other birds find other things in nature to keep their nests together, like spider webs. That was so interesting when I learned that, right? Remember when we tried building our nest and ours just kept falling apart? Well, birds know that they need something to stick those things together, and that's why some of them use spider webs and some of them use mud, right? Let's find out about other homes. Okay, let's let's find out what sea turtles do to use nature. I love sea turtles. So sea turtles actually use the sand on a beach. Have you ever seen a baby sea turtle or maybe a grown sea turtle on the beach? Probably not because they mostly live in water. But sea turtles need the sand to lay their eggs. Let's find out. Adult sea turtles live in the ocean. A mother sea turtle makes a nest only when she is ready to lay eggs. She swims back to the same beach where she hatched from as an egg. She then crawls along the sand, looking for a safe spot to dig an egg chamber or nest for her eggs. She lays a clutch or set of 100 to 150 eggs, usually at night. Wow, that's some interesting facts. She goes back to the place that she was born and she finds a really safe place to dig a hole, and then she lays all 100 or 150 eggs, and then she goes back into the ocean. Now it says after laying her eggs, the sea turtle will cover them with sand and swim away. If predators do not find and eat the eggs first, the hatchlings will dig their way out and crawl to the ocean. And you see these little cute baby sea turtles getting out of the little hole and then going to the ocean. That's so cute. So sea turtles need nature because first of all, they live in the ocean, so they need the ocean to live. And second of all, the mama needs the sand or the beaches so that she can dig a hole and put her baby eggs in there. So nature is so important to all kinds of different animals, and we can probably learn about so many other animals and how they use nature. But it's important to know that nature is important to us, and it's also important to animals because they need it to build homes. So we need to make sure that we leave nature alone so animals can use those things, right? Woo, we learned so much today, didn't we? And I had so much fun learning this stuff with you. Let's think about what we all learned about today. So I learned that animals use nature to build their homes, and they use it in different ways, like digging holes or collecting sticks or using trees to put their homes in. I also learned about engineers. And engineers are a special kind of scientist that look for problems in the world and they invent things to solve those problems. And let's see what else I learned. I learned that animals are also engineers because they think of problems that they have for themselves and they use nature to solve those problems. Wow, that is mind-blowing, right? Man, my brain is overloaded with all of this information. I love to take breaks to calm me down. Do you want to join me in my break today? So I like to use this chime right here. And what I do is I'm going to hit the chime, and I usually close my eyes and I listen very, very closely until I can stop hearing that chime. So I want you to do that with me. I want you to listen very closely, and I want you to put your finger up as soon as you don't hear the noise anymore. Okay? Let's see how long we can hear it. You ready? Okay. Close your eyes. was kind of nice being able to relax and just close my eyes and just listen to that sound. Whew. Let's kind of shake our bodies up, huh? You know what I like to do sometimes too? I like to think about what I learned about and move my body to kind of help me remember that. So since we learned about birds, I want you guys to stretch your arms like this, and we're going to flap them up. Awesome. Keep flapping, flapping, flap them up. Now flap them down. Let's see how fast you can go. Go super, super, super fast. Now I want you to move your arms in a circle. Ooh, my arms are getting tired. Are your arms? Now I want you to go the other way. Wow. Last thing, I want you to flap them like a bird. Up and down really big. Whew. And we land in our nest. Wow, that was so fun. That's exactly what birds do all day. I bet they get tired flapping their wings like that, don't you think? I don't know. I wonder if they get tired flapping their wings so much. Well, I had so much fun with you today, and I want you to leave here and I want you to practice what we learned. I want you to go out into nature and I want you to explore all the different ways you see animals changing the environment. Or maybe you can even research your favorite animal and see how your favorite animal changes the environment. I know one of my favorite animals is a polar bear. And what polar bears do is they actually use snow and ice and they dig a den for themselves, kind of like those foxes in that book. They dig in the snow and the ice and they build a den for themselves and their babies. So they for sure need lots of snow in order to have a home. And that's part of nature too. How does your favorite animal change the environment to make its home? I hope you have so much fun finding out all of that cool information, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.